This is the biggest mistake real estate investors make right here in Southern Ontario. Now, I'm going to tell you exactly what that mistake is. I'm going to tell you how I know it's the biggest mistake people make. I'm going to give you an example of what that mistake is. I'm probably going to offend you, so stay tuned to the end, and I'm going to tell you 2 questions you can ask to separate the pretenders, the people who don't have your best interest in mind, from the people who want to see you succeed, the real professionals. Before we jump in, if you get value from this, please like, please subscribe, do a friend a favor, share with them also. Here it is. This is probably going to offend you. The biggest mistake real estate investors make in Ontario is being cheap. They value price over representation. They value price over the relationship with the professional. Let me give you an example. Let's say I send you to my mortgage broker. We meet, we're going to apply this investment strategy. You're going to accomplish all your goals. I say, hey, go talk to my special investor-focused mortgage broker. And the first question you ask them is, what's the best interest rate you can give me? Now, that's not a bad question. You're just asking it at the wrong time because you haven't built the relationship with this person yet. You may not understand is an investor-focused mortgage broker in this example is going to help you by positioning you to acquire as many mortgages as possible over a period of time. And if you can get 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 mortgages, that's going to propel your growth as a real estate investor, isn't it? What's going to help you grow more? Saving 0.2% on your interest rate or getting you 5 mortgages in 3 years? The answer is obvious. Now, while this mortgage broker is going to fight for the best interest rate anyway, if your focus is solely on price and not building a relationship, you're doing yourself a disservice because over a period of time, your relationships in this business are going to give you 100 times more value than saving 0.2%. Another good example is negotiating with contractors. You know, would you want to nickel and dime a contractor for every last penny you can get and lower the price so that this contractor is so upset they might cut corners on your job? Or would you rather pay them a fair wage so they like working with you, so they want to do a good job on your property, so that next time you need them, they'll respond right away for you and do good work, maybe refer you business? That's what you want. Now, I'm not saying you should pay more or pay the most expensive person you could find. I'm saying build a relationship, pay fairly, worry more about the quality of representation than about price, because over a period of time, the quality of that representation will build you much more ROI, give you a much better ROL, and have a much bigger impact on your business than saving a few bucks in the beginning. If you don't believe me, take a look at these articles. Here's Mrs. Simpson here. She defrauded investors out of a couple $1 million. I think it was 16 investors. I'll let you read the article, but the example here, this gentleman gave her $250,000 to invest in a land deal that didn't exist. I don't even think she owned it. And this guy ended up losing $250,000 because he trusted a person who didn't have their best interest in mind. Now, that could happen to anyone, sure, but there's a few questions you can ask that are going to eliminate this problem, are going to find the pretenders before it ever happens. Okay? I'm going to tell you what that is. The question to ask is, have you ever done this successfully before in the past? Now, if they can't answer that question, they are a pretender. Simple as that. Even if they can answer that question, they might say, yes, I've done this before many times, and they might be lying. Well, you say, okay, have you done it with other people? You know, you might ask me, Paul, you tell me student rentals are a fantastic investment. They cash flow amazing. I'm using an example here. Have you done this before in the past? And I might say, great question. Yes, I have. Here are my properties. Property 1, property 2, property 3. I can show you with definitiveness that it works for me. And you might say, okay, that's great. Have you done it with other investors? And I say, well, that's an even better question. Here are 42 other people that we've done it with. You see how this works? If you dive deep into this question, you're going to find the people who not only are saying the right things, but know how to practice them and know how to help you in real life. And the final question would be, do you have proof? Now, you might not want to come out and say that right away. you probably want to build a relationship first, but that's not an offensive question. If the person takes offense from that and actually can't prove that they have proof that this strategy or whatever investment they're selling actually works, run. Because this person would have been saved at least $250,000. And this person would not have defrauded all these people out of millions of dollars if those people had asked that question. Check out another one. This was very recent in the news. This is Mr. Dylan Suter. I'm just using the names here, and a bunch of their strangely named corporations. They're on the hook for $144 million in real estate and don't have the equity or cash to back it up, because the mortgage broker who was raising funds for them was doing it essentially fraudulently. She was borrowing money with promissory notes with no backing at all, and investors were giving her money hand over fist because she was promising amazing returns. The next question might be, has this worked for other people? She might say yes. She might even have testimonials. And the third question solves all the problems. Do you have proof? So if this person can't show you proof that these investments that they made, this $144 million worth of properties, have they rolled over? Have they succeeded? Have they been turned over, refinanced, and the investor's been paid back? If they can't show that, run for the hills, especially if they're promising to pay out 15, 16, 17, 18% in annual returns on promissory notes. It's too good to be true. So the biggest mistake investors make, being cheap. If that offends you, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Okay, and they're focusing on price. They're focusing on crazy ROIs over the quality of the professional, the quality of the representation, the quality of the relationship. I know it's true because not only have I been doing this for 14 to 15 years now, I had to think for a second, and not only have I accumulated a significant property, I have an encyclopedia of mistakes that I've made that I can teach you from, and triumphs too, and lessons I've learned. But I've also coached hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of investors. So I've got to see their mistakes and help them through it. I've got to see their triumphs and celebrate with them. So I have a very unique perspective on this, and I promise you, as crazy as it sounds, this is the biggest mistake people make, and I want you to avoid it. If you want to see what's going on in the marketplace right now and how people are succeeding even with higher interest rates, I suggest you download my book. It's in the description here. It's going to break down everything for you about what's going on in our marketplace right here in Ontario right now, and how investors like you are actually making money and profits regardless of what's going on in the marketplace, and how they're choosing the right professionals to help them.